Hi, I'm Ashley,
And I'm Thomas.
and this is an Epic Online internal training video. In this video, we will be looking at compliance. Before a session, you cannot cancel or reschedule any session with less than 4 hours notice. If you have an emergency and need to do so, you need to inform the monitoring team on Skype. Your location needs to have previously been cleared by the IT department, and make sure it looks clean and professional looking. Before your session, make sure all your cell phones are also turned off, that your doors are closed, and that there are no interruptions.
We also need you to be very conscious that this is a professional environment. So, please be clear of little kids running around, other people in the household, passing by behind you and all that kind of stuff.
Most of us students are, working in corporate companies, so we need to make sure we're on their level of expectation. Make sure to check your grooming as well. Present yourself as if you're going to the office.
Yeah, we'll require the ladies to put on makeup, appropriate makeup for the office, and be appropriately dressed. For the boys, I don't think we need you to put on a suit and tie, but I think a proper shirt with a collar, not a round neck t-shirt, stuff like that. Just be very conscious about this. We need to project a certain image to our students and our clients.
And make sure your headset is ready to be used as specified by the IT department.
Yes, and we have been encountering a number of cases where the students have been complaining about loud tapping on the keyboard by the coaches, and we checked, and the coaches were using the headset, but unfortunately, sometimes the setting has been set to the built-in microphone on the PC on your laptop. So please, even though you plug in your headset, please check that the setting has been
configured accurately so that
yes,
it's using the correct microphone.
and do contact our IT people or Able Online if you need any help in this area.
If it's your first session for the day, make sure you've rebooted your PC so that the RAM drives all clear.
Yeah, because very often you may not be aware of this. You had been running other programs and they are still sitting there somewhere in the PC, and it will be taking up processing power and maybe even affecting the internet connection.
Also do a speed test and copy and paste the results to the monitoring team's Skype. And make sure your recorder, whether it be for Skype or Google Hangouts, etc., is working. 5 minutes to the hour or 10 minutes before your session starts, make sure to sign into Skype or Google Hangouts or whichever program you're using and log into the eScheduler. Otherwise, the monitoring team will be looking for a substitute coach and you will be considered a no-show and subject to penalty.
Yes, and the penalties are quite severe for the simple reason that this compromises the service we provide to our clients and could affect our business.
And make sure to read the forum and familiarize yourself with the previous session of the student and the agreed exercise for the current session.
One of the unique aspects of Epic Online versus other English online programs is that there is a random assignment of coaches, and this is done specifically so that the student practice speaking with different people. This is critical to developing the conversational capability of the student. However, if we do not have a proper handover for each session, the chances are that the student might feel the whole thing being very disjointed. So it is important that you create a link from the previous session to the current session, and also provide that link for the next session, and so that the student feels that he or she is being looked after, and not just kind of being randomly done as a student.
During your session, make sure the recorder is turned on and actually recording.
Yeah, because otherwise we do not have any evidence of you having done the session. And secondly, if there's any issue with the session, which the student say makes a note about or passes a comment about, there's no way for us to check. And if there's no way for us to check, we have to assume that the student is correct and this might compromise you as a coach.
Turn on your webcam to greet the student. You want to create a bit of rapport, and it's important that we maintain a face-to-face effect with our sessions.
Yeah, because this is what we sell Epic as, is in one-on-one, face-to-face online English coaching. So the face-to-face part is important. However,
with permission of the student, you can turn off the webcam if connection quality is not satisfactory.
But we would require you to at least have the camera on to say hello to the student, and at the end to turn it on to say goodbye.
During the session, make sure you review the previous session.
Again, creating the link, making the student feel that he's being looked after, or he or she is being looked after.
And then do the activity that is posted in the forum for the session. When it comes towards the end of the session, with your feedback, make sure you praise strengths and identify weaknesses, and recommend activities outside of Epic Online sessions. We do have a separate video on giving appropriate feedback, because we do tend to get feedback from students that say the coaches give feedback that is too general. You need to make sure there's that it's directed to the student and that it's a little bit more specific.
That's right. The complaints, we have had some complaints from students that they get the canned sort of feedback. So you have to be very specific so that the student feels that he or she is being considered specially.
Discuss and agree exercises for your next session and send links to confirm.
Yeah, the student, so that the student has a chance, if he or she wants to actually preview the links for the next session, but this is not a requirement for them to do so.
And then send the link for evaluation and wait for the student to confirm that the evaluation has been completed. In the case of a choppy connection, noise, static, and regularly dropped connections, the monitoring team has to be informed and you must follow their instructions. If the call is dropped more than 4 times, it needs to be rescheduled.
Yes, the monitoring team is the final decision maker regarding go or no go on the session and what to be done. Because we have to follow certain protocol, and also, again, we have made certain commitments to our clients on the way we run our sessions. So please do abide by the instructions given by the monitoring team.
Post-session, make sure to post in the forum within 6 hours after completion of the session and according to the set format.
Sometimes there are concurrent sessions being done, so there's a separate procedure for this, and I think there will be a separate video for this. Students might be doing concurrent sessions one after another. The importance about posting early is that the student could have another session coming up, and the coach for the subsequent session needs to be able to know what went on in the previous session.
Make sure to label the recording of the session according to the set format and upload it within 24 hours of completion of the session. There is a compliance penalty as well, but this is discussed in the video on coach rates.
Yes, this is quite important. Compliance is very critical for us, and unfortunately we do have to impose penalties for those of you who do not comply. But the whole rationale of the penalty is not to penalize you, but to make sure you comply, which actually the structure of the penalty is such that you can actually redeem the penalty if you are compliant in future sessions. So best is to refer to the video on coach rates.
If you are penalized on compliance, you will be excluded from Coach of the Month considerations.
Which is actually could be quite rich, because if you do a lot of sessions and you're Coach of the Month, you actually get a premium for every session that you do. So could be a very nice little bonus. And currently, I think we have 3 Coaches of the Month, and as the volume picks up, we intend to increase the number.
But if you're really worried, just re-watch this video and do everything that was mentioned in the previous slides, and you should be okay.
Okay, and if you have any questions, feel free to post on Facebook groups or write to any of the department heads directly. If you watch the video on the team, You will know who is in charge of which department, and the email addresses are also given. But it is easy to know the email addresses. It's the first name at janeshteam.com. That's the email address standard which we use.
And that's everything in this video for today.
Thank you.
Thank you for your time, guys.